We've been farming for, 45 years, and United's been in existence the whole time. And I drive through Saticoy, I see the spreading ponds, I understand what's going on. Water's coming off the river, it's being recharged into the ground. I just took it for granted. If United wasn't supplying the quantity of recharge, then we would suffering from seawater intrusion, lowering groundwater levels. I mean, at the coast we'd have seawater intrusion. Further inland we'd have pumping trough depressions. At some point water levels would be so low and the quantity of water would decline to a point where it wouldn't support the agriculture. So you'd end up with much lower percentage of farming. It's not just a matter of, oh, just keep doing what you're doing, use less water. We are at the point of maximum efficiency. We might be able to squeeze out another 5%, but if we have to cut 30%, then we have to fallow 30% of our acreage. That's with United. So, we need every drop that United can supply. We need to be innovative about supplemental sources, and we need to be protective of the water that United has been able to deliver thus far. We immigrated from Germany in 1950. I was 2 years old, and we immigrated to Ventura County because my uncle lived here and worked in the oil business, and so we settled here, and I grew up here. My father became an accountant for a lemon packing house. That's kind of how we got associated with the ag industry. And in 1970, when I got out of college, I'd studied engineering. They put a man on the moon in 1969. They said, you know what, we don't need engineers anymore. And I had worked in one of the early sod farms as a summer vacation job as a kid in high school. And so my dad and I started sod farming as a career at that point. It was just an infant industry, and so we were among the pioneers of the industry. And as the industry grew, that is to say, as people switched from seeding their lawn to sodding their lawn, our company grew, and now nobody seeds their lawn anymore. Everything is sodded, and as far as growing the company, we developed a type of sod that we call Marathon, and we did that in 1983, and it has been a success beyond all expectations. My brother is in charge of the berry side of our business, and we went into the berry business because of the economic downturn in 2008, and also because of the impact of the drought on sod sales. So we went into the berry business, and we thought, well, if we're going to do berries, we're going to do it with the latest, most advanced technology, which is called substrate production. We actually grow the berries. We started with raspberries, but we do blackberries and blueberries now. We grow them in pots. Technology is a growing trend in the ag industry in terms of sensors and wireless communication telemetry and ways of measuring moisture requirements or turning on valves and so forth. So yeah, there'll be a lot more technology simply because water is becoming so much more of an issue today than it has been before. So we're going to be very heavily regulated in water use, so we can't afford to waste a drop, and the way to do that is you have to really intensify the management, and intensifying the management in this day and age leads you to technology. Yeah, one of my big frustrations as I'm both observing water politics and being deeply involved in part of them is that to the extent there are more and more regulations on water supplies that are based on environmental regulations, that is to say fish flows specifically, there just doesn't seem to be any cost-benefit thinking. The question of preserving fish is a great ideal, but at what cost? I hope to see that we have a continuing, thriving agricultural industry. It may evolve to other crops. I mean, that's been the history here. But, you know, the fundamental agronomic science says when you have this much sunshine, this much wind, this much evapotranspiration, you have to replace it. You have to give your plants an equivalent amount of water. That isn't going to change in 90 years. So what we're using today is what we're going to need in 90 years, and we need reliability. I mean, farming is a high investment, high risk business, and we need to have reliability in as many of the parts of the equation as possible, and water is a big part.